appreciate everybody coming out. We're standing here today because of one person. A few months ago, my fire chief came to me, had a wild idea and a dream to obtain an airline-type aircraft for emergency response training. I gave him some history. I said, you know, 5 or 6 years ago, St. Louis University tried to get an airline aircraft to be on permanent static display. 3 or 4 years ago, our Greater St. Louis Air and Space Museum came to me and said, hey, if we get an airliner in here, can we put it on display? Sure, go ahead. Well, for whatever reason, both of those efforts fell through, and I relayed that to our chief, and I said, Mike, if you think you can make it happen, go for it. And then I stepped back out of his way, and here we are today. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Mike Mavergeorge.
Well, I apologize about the weather, but what everyone doesn't realize is I had to make a deal with Mother Nature. We could have a 727 if they had to have one more day of cold weather. So here we are. Wow, that's all I can really say. This is the first component of a dream to develop a regional training site that'll be available to police, fire, and EMS personnel. The best training is the most realistic training, and you can't get any more realistic than that. This wonderful aircraft will be the cornerstone of a public safety training site where firefighters will be able to fight live fires on an aircraft burn simulator, go through a training tower, and conduct hazmat and rescue training. Law enforcement, K-9, and SWAT will be able to conduct counterterrorism assault training on aircraft, trains, passenger buses, school buses. I will not stop until we find the funding to establish this site, especially in the light of the events in the Boston area. This is too important to our region. To protect our citizens, training must be our creed, and rest assured, we will fight like we train. This wonderful aircraft will be converted for training purposes so that firefighters will be able to navigate through a maze filled with training smoke, conduct crew and passenger rescues, ladder and make forcible entry from the outside of the plane over the wings. EMS personnel will be able to conduct aircraft mass casualty training in a realistic, controlled environment. Best of all, our partners in law enforcement, our SWAT teams, will be able to conduct counterterrorism training using live pyrotechnics and simulations inside an actual aircraft. This aircraft will truly make a difference in the quality of the training in the region. Without Miss Beth Rush and a truly great corporate partner in Federal Express, we would not be here today. Thank you, Federal Express. In 10 days, we will have been in existence for 5 years as a fire department. We've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. As a fire chief, I am very fortunate to have the support of my agency that allows me to pursue these types of opportunities and my aggressive vision for our fire department. Without the support of the agency, none of this would be possible. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce the President and CEO of the Bi-State Development Agency, Mr. John Nations.
Good morning, everybody. I am delighted to be here for 2 reasons. First, to see all of you, and of course for the occasion which brings us all together. I don't know whether you're going to consider this good news or not, but I found that over my public career over the last couple of decades, the longer I talk, the warmer I get. So maybe I can warm up this morning. Chief, thank you for all you've done. Bob, thank you very much for all you do for all of us, and we certainly appreciate all of you joining us today. On behalf of the Bi-State Development Agency and our Board of Commissioners, I'd like to extend my thanks to Federal Express, to Beth Rush, thank you very much. And I don't mean that in some casual, official, or some offhanded way. Because of the partnership with FedEx, I want you to know not only that we appreciate it, But because of our relationship and your donation, our people will be better trained, our public will be safer, and our region will be safer, and the quality of life in our region will be greatly enhanced, and we're grateful to you for that. She deserves just a huge round of applause. We are delighted that the St. Louis Downtown Airport remains one of the crown jewels of our business operations at the Bi-State Development Agency. 50 years ago, the region came to us to solve a very critical problem, and that is what was then known as Parks Airport, the closest airport to downtown St. Louis, had gone broke and closed. The region came to the Bi-State Development Agency to solve the problem. 50 years ago, we spent about $4 million to buy the airport and the improvements. 50 years later, it has grown to have a regional impact of $584 million for this region, something we are extremely proud of. We operate it as one of our business enterprises, and we're happy to say that we do it with no local taxpayer support at all. Jenny Nixon is our longtime Senior Vice President of Business Enterprises. Jenny, raise your hand. She does a great job for us. Covering more than 1,000 acres in Cahokia and Sauget, this airport is recognized as the busiest general aviation airport in the state of Illinois, behind O'Hare and Midway only. The businesses located here generate $584 million worth of an economic impact. Our airport director, somebody else who just does a tremendous job for our agency, for the airport, and for our region, is Bob McDaniel. Thank you for all that you do. They will lead the efforts to refurbish the interior of the Boeing 727, working with the staff from the Greater St. Louis Air and Space Museum and our colleagues at Jet Aviation. Jet Aviation is a division of General Dynamics and has been a tenant here at the airport for many years, and we're certainly proud that they are. The company has a history of doing maintenance and repair work for the FedEx corporate fleet at its facilities here, and their team has agreed to assist in preparing the aircraft for its new mission. We greatly appreciate the role that they will play. They deserve a big round of applause as well. I also must, and frankly I'm proud to acknowledge our airport fire department, which has been in operation here since 2008. Under the guidance of a tremendous fire chief, Mike Maverick George, it continues to lead the way in safety and training initiatives. Chief, thank you for all that you do. It's no secret if you look at his face that the chief is a happy guy today and happy to be welcoming this fabulous training tool. Once the conversion is complete, it will enable us to provide area firefighters and first responders with a level of valuable hands-on experience that is rarely available anywhere. And all you have to do is watch the news today to realize how important that training is for the safety of all of us. As Chief Maverick George has said, the aircraft's primary purpose will be to train firefighters and other emergency response force personnel, but that's not all. It will also serve as a classroom and a ground trainer for future pilots and aircraft maintenance technicians, and it will be made available to researchers and educators for use in their safety and educational programs. Very important. Upon completion of the interior modifications, this Boeing 727 will become the centerpiece of a new training site to be located on the northwest side of the airport between Vector Drive and the railroad tracks. In addition to the 727, the site will include smaller general aviation aircraft and other hands-on training aids. With today's donation, those longer-term plans are taking a giant step forward. And for myself, for our Board of Commissioners, all the people throughout the region that we serve, I thank you all for joining us to celebrate this exciting milestone this morning. Thank you all very, very much.